If you're nervous cycling in traffic like I was when I started cycle commuting, then this video is for you. I'm going to give you 3 tips to help position yourself better when you're riding amongst cars. One thing that really helped me when I started cycling was learning that the highway code gave me as much right to use the road as the cars. So it's important that you're assertive when you're out on the road to your positioning, and it's safer for you. And knowing that I had a right to be on the road helped me be more assertive. So if you're not aware of that, you have a right to be on the road. Obviously you're not allowed on the sidewalk, so you have to ride somewhere, and you have a right to the road. So with that, I will give you tip number 1. Don't ride in the gutter. Don't cuddle the curb. Stay at least 75 centimeters out. So there's a couple of reasons for this. All the debris and rubbish usually ends up at the edge of the road, so you want to stay away from that. The gutters along the road, that's where they are, and you don't want to be going in and out amongst gutters constantly. So you want to ride in as straight a line as possible, and so you need to stay at least 75 centimeters out is the recommended distance. And I'll put some links below for you for some more articles and examples of this, where this type of advice comes from. So yeah, 75 centimeters out minimum. And this also gives you the opportunity to have an escape route. So if a car is coming up alongside you and it's too close or you're not comfortable, or there's something you need to avoid, it gives you a little space on the other side to move. So there's numerous reasons why it's a good idea to cycle further out than you may think. The white lines or yellow lines, parking lines on the road, you shouldn't be on them. Don't ride on them. You should be away from that. If you're riding on those lines, you're riding too close to the side of the road. You need to move out. So that's tip number 1, and I'll show you an example of what I mean. Tip number 2. Pretty straightforward. If there's a pinch point, so when there's a bollard in the middle of the road for helping people get across, the road narrows, so a pinch point. And in those instances when there's not enough room for both you and a car to fit through, you need to make the decision and take the lane. So primary position is what it's called. You move over and take the lane. So this makes the decision yours. You don't have to leave it up to the driver behind you to decide that they may be able to squeeze through, which is a very uncomfortable place to be, and I prefer to make the decision. And if the cars honk at you or rev their engines at you, rest assured they can see you. So that's a pretty safe that's your best bet to be seen. I'll show you an example of what I mean by a pinch point and taking the lane. Number 3, be aware of your surroundings. So know what's coming up behind you, be aware of what's going on around you. If you're going to change your position, to change lanes to turn, or just move over for some reason, give a glance around your shoulder, the same as you would if you're driving. And if you don't drive, you should glance behind your shoulder to make sure no one's coming up alongside you, because if another cyclist is coming up, you probably won't hear them. So just be aware of what's around you, and before you change position, give a good check. If you're not good at looking over your shoulder, and also for just being aware of what's coming up behind you on the road, if it's a big lorry or if it's just a loud car and you just want to know what's around you, a mirror is a good idea. I had a mirror on my first commuter bike, and although the bike shop guys teased me, it made me more comfortable, and that's what it's about. When you're out in traffic and on the road, you have to be confident and comfortable. And so if a mirror helps you be aware of your surroundings, then get a mirror. I completely think they are a great tool for riding in traffic. Let me show you a clip of my first commuting bike so you can see how I had it set up with the mirror.
Also, although the guys at the bike shop teased me a bit, have a mirror on my bike. Can't quite see, but I do like to have that. I like to know what's coming up behind me.
I hope you found those tips useful. I learned some of those things through trial and error, and it becomes so much better when you have confidence on the road and you're more assertive, and you can then cycle anywhere, because there's very rarely cycle lanes to get you where you want to go, and I can now cycle pretty much anywhere, which is great. And hopefully these tips will help you become more confident in your cycling. As always, please leave me any questions or comments or tips below. Thank you for your questions and comments from the last video. They help me plan future videos when I know what you guys are interested in hearing and learning about. So continue on asking and questioning and commenting. Thank you.